Okay, so database internals, guys. So I want to create a table, guys, where the tables will be existed generally. Where the tables will be existed generally in the database. If you go inside the database, you can see table section. Okay, if you go inside the tables, you can see the tables. In case if you create any tables, you can see these tables here. As of now, I didn't create any tables, so that's why you don't see any tables here. So by default, you will get these folders: system tables, file tables, sectional tables, graph tables, and all. You don't see anything. Okay, those are all empty only. By default, this structure will comes from model DB. So as per the model DB structure, all these things by default it will come when you create any new user database. Okay, fine. So now if I create any new table, it will be created here under graph tables. You can see here one entry and the tables will continue, guys. So now before creating, see, if I want to install SQL Server, guys, what I should have? What I should have if I want to create SQL Server, what I should have generally? Tell me, guys, if I want to install SQL Server, what are the prerequisites?
VM and hardware VM and Windows Server.
Hmm. Hmm. Next, tell me, guys, what are the main prerequisites?
Two types of requirements, sir. Hardware and software requirements.
Hmm.
Hardware is CPU, minimum
Hmm.
one CPU. RAM is 4 GB, hard disk 4 GB or more. Uh, Software requirements is Windows Server, setup files, SQL Server setups, and SSMS and .NET framework.
Very good. Okay. So if I want to SQL Server, if I want to install SQL Server, I should have virtual machine. I should have Windows Server. Okay. And then I should have .NET framework. And then finally I can install SQL Server. Correct. So where I'm going to install SQL Server? First, we should have a Windows machine. Inside the Windows machine, we'll install Windows operating system. First, we'll have a virtual machine. Inside the virtual machine, we'll install the Windows Server operating system. Inside the operating system, what we will do? We'll install the SQL Server, right? Inside the operating system, we'll install the SQL Server. So if you see the screen, right? If you want to create a table, first of all, remember, you should know the physical hierarchy, how the table will be stored physically and how the table will be stored logically. You should know this. How it will be managed physically, how it will be managed logically, you should know this. Okay. So as I said, if you want to install SQL Server, first of all, you should have a Windows machine. Means your SQL Server will be installed in the Windows machine and your Windows machine will be created in the virtual machine. So first hierarchy is, first level is virtual machine. Inside virtual machine will install Windows Server. Inside Windows Server will install SQL Server. Okay, inside SQL Server will create the databases and all. In the same way, if you follow the same hierarchy, you can see answer, I mean to say, you can see on the screen. So inside the SQL servers, I mean to say, we have instance. Instance is nothing but one SQL Server software copy. If you go inside the instance, generally, inside the instance, what we can create, guys? Databases we can create. Okay, if you go inside the instance, we can create data. So databases will exist in the instances, guys. If you go inside, you can see the database. So databases will exist inside the instance, inside the SQL Server. How this database will be managed? So database is nothing but collection of two files, one data file, one log file. That is the definition of the database. Database is a collection of related data entries, I mean to say, that is table, and database is a collection of data files and log files. So when you are creating a database means one data file should be created, one log file also should be created. So the data file, again, it cannot be created alone. Any data file can be created on a file group. Okay, on a file group. So if you go inside the database, you can see file groups and then log files. Remember this. If you go inside the instance, you will have databases. I'm going inside the database now. If you go inside the database, you will have file groups and log files. What is the importance of log file? What is the importance of the data file? I'll tell you. First, try to understand the hierarchy. Okay. So inside the database, if you go, you can see file groups and then log file. Log file doesn't belong to any file group. It's a separate file. If you go inside the file groups, you will have the data files. Okay, you will have the data files. There are two types of data files. One is MDF file, master data file. Second one is NDF file, next data file or new data file. Next data file or new data file. So when you create any database, you will get a one MDF file, you will get one LDF file. Together, the database will be created, guys. Is it clear now, everyone? Is it clear? Guys, please respond. This is important.
Sure.
What about others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, MD.
Okay. So the data files, as I said, cannot exist alone. So these data files will exist on file groups only. So that's why if you go inside the database, you can see file groups, and then file groups means group of files. That's it. Okay, file groups means group of files. We have two types of file groups. One is default file group, which is primary. You can also create custom file groups. You can create your own. I'll show you. Don't worry. How to create file groups and all, I'll show you. So default file groups and custom file groups are user-based file groups. So default file groups means primary. You will get this primary file group. When you are creating a database, what you are doing? Simply you are giving the name and then you are clicking OK. But you are not mentioning, right, which data file it is, which log file it is, and which file group it is. So by default, it is taken from the primary file group. Okay, so your MDF file will be created in the primary file group, guys. Your MDF file will be created in the primary file group. And it's a collection of MDF file and log file. If my MDF is completely full, then you can add extra data file called NDF file. Then you can add extra data file called NDF file, next data file or new data file. Okay, so it is common if the database is big. Guys, only one MDF you will get it with the SQL Server database. If you create a database, by default you will get one MDF and LDF. If MDF is full, then you can add NDF data files. Means you can add multiple NDF data files. You can add multiple NDF data files. If your first, second NDF is full, you can add third NDF. You can add fourth NDF, fifth NDF, 10th NDF, 12th NDF, 100th NDF, 1000th and NDF files you can add. Okay. So there is a count that maximum you can add. How many data files, guys? SQL Server will support 32,767 files. 32,767. Remember this number, guys. This is very important number in SQL Server. 32,767 is very, very important number in SQL Server. How many databases you can create in SQL Server? Answer is 32,767 databases. How many files you can add to the database, each database? Answer is 32,767 files. How many logins you can create in the SQL Server? Answer is 32,767 logins. How many users you can create in SQL Server? Answer is 32,767 users. How many sessions can run in SQL Server at a time? Answer is 32,007. So for most of the questions, the answer is 32,767, guys. Okay, so in the same way, I can add 32,767 files to the database. In case if you want, that doesn't mean you have to add. In case if you want, the maximum files that you can add to any database is 32,767 files, guys. Data files. Okay, in that, by default, you will get the MDF. So only one MDF will be there for every database. If MDF is full, you cannot add one more MDF. You have to add NDF file. Are you getting the point, guys? The second data file will be always an NDF file. The first data file is MDF file that you will get by default when you create a database. If MDF is full, you can try to extend the storage. You can try to extend the drive. If the drive is also full, if you cannot extend the drive, you have to create one more data file in another drive, guys. Okay. For example, if you see here, let me explain you in this way. Let me, okay, close this. Let me go to this. For example, if you see this database, Amazon properties. If you see this database and if you go to file space, okay, if you go to file space, let me clear all drawings. Right. If you go to file space, where is your MDF created, guys? In which location it was created? This is MDF file. You can see here. File location, file name, amazon.mdf, amazon underscore log. So Shanmukh, how to identify which one is data file, which one is log file? If you see the extension as MDF or NDF, that is a data file. If you see the extension as LDF, that is a log file, guys. Clear, everyone? Guys, are we good? How to identify which one is data file, which one is log file? Is it clear?
Yes, Shanmukh.
Using extensions.
Yes.
And if you go to physical locations, how to identify which one is data file and which one is log file? In the physical location, you don't see extension. You can see file names only. Extensions you don't see. So how to identify which one is data file and which one is log file, guys? You can see easily. Data file, generally you can see just a database name. Log file will have underscore log. You don't see extension .ldf, .mdf and all. And one more way is also there. Table. So if you see the icon, if you see the table means that is a data file. If you see a notepad kind of thing, a running notes kind of thing is there, right? Icon. So that is a log file, guys. Using icons also you can identify which one is data file and which one is log file. Fine. So now if you see here, if you go to this database, now the data file is created in which location, guys? Tell me.
In C drive program files.
Very good.
Like
In
Microsoft
C
folder.
drive. Correct. What is the size of the data file?
8 MB.
Very good. In which drive it was created? C drive.
C drive.
Okay. C drive was created. So what is the size of my C drive?
724 GB.
Free space is there. 724 GB.
24 GB.
24 GB.
24 GB. Okay. 24 GB inside the 24 GB inside this C drive. How much free space is there? 7.86. Correct. So if this file is growing, it is going to consume my free space in this drive, right? Because this file is created in the C drive. Correct. In the C drive, if you see, if Amazon is growing, now it is 8 MB only. Now it is 8 MB. You can see the size here. Now if you are keep on creating tables, if you are keep on inserting the data, what will happen? This file will grow, right? Will grow until what point? It can grow up to
8 MB, sir.
8 GB. 8 MB only. We have auto growth also. So automatically it will grow. So it can expand up to, till what point it can expand, guys? Your
8
expectation.
GB.
8 GB, 7.86 GB, because the file is created in the C drive, and if you are keep inserting the data, it will consume 8 MB. Once 8 MB is consumed, it will add auto growth. Automatically, it will take the storage from the C drive, or in which drive the file is created, automatically it will take the storage from that particular drive. But in this scenario, it can grow up to 7.86 because I have only 7.86 GB free space in the C drive. So if the 7.86 GB is consumed, then next what? If it is consumed, next what, guys? My drive is completely full. Next.
You need to extend the drive.
Yes, MDF file consumed
We have to,
7.86
we
GB.
can change,
You have to what, Himanshu? You have to?
we can change the drive.
Why we have to change the drive
Means,
immediately?
in the server, there is another drive which name is as B drive. Where we can give the path to there.
That's okay.
And
That's okay. That's okay, Himanshu. Why immediately we have to go to the other drive? Okay. We have a
Okay,
choice,
extend the
right?
drive.
We can extend before. See, if
Can
you
extend the drive.
cannot extend C drive, then you can, your answer is correct. But this is only 25 GB. I can add 100 GB more. I can add 200 GB more, or I can add 2 TB, up to 2 TB. Any disk can grow up to 2 TB. So if my disk is full, regularly we'll get these type of scenarios, guys. Regularly we'll get these issues. Data file drive will be full, data file will be full, log file will be full, log drive will be full. Okay, regularly we'll get these issues, regularly every day. So if my drive is full, what I'll do, I'll request storage team or Windows team, they will extend this drive. Maybe 100 GB they will extend. If 100 GB is also full, maybe they will extend 500 GB. If that also full, they will extend 2 TB. Any drive can grow up to 2 TB. If my 2 TB is also full, then you cannot grow beyond 2 TB, guys. The drives cannot go beyond 2 TB. 2 TB is the maximum storage for any disk. My 2 TB is also full. Still, I am getting the data. In such scenario, how to manage? How to manage, guys? I'm still getting my 2 TB is also full. My data file size is 2 TB now. So that also full. Next what? Next, we have to request the Windows team to add one more drive. Are you getting the point, guys? You have to request the Windows team to add one more drive. Then what I'll do, I will add one more data file, okay, and I'll create in the new drive. Okay, Amazon data file. If you want to create data file, you can create data file. If you want to create log file, you can create log file. Okay, and in which file group? Every data file should be part of one file group. So by default, we have primary file group, and I'm getting the size. See, we changed the properties of the model DB, right? So that is why it is showing 81. So I'll give 8 MB. Okay. And this file I'm going to store in the D drive. Of course, I don't have D drive now, but I'll store this file in the new drive, DRE. So from that point onwards, this file will grow. From that point onwards, this file will grow. In this way, we can create databases more than 2 TB also. 2 TB in the organization, sometimes the interviews, they will ask questions. What is the biggest database you are handling in your current environment? What is the biggest database size you are handling in your current environment? Don't tell 100 GB, 100 MB, 200 GB and all. 200 GB, 100 GB, these are all very small databases in the organization. Okay, you have to tell at least 4 TB, 5 TB and all. But as I said, you cannot store the whole 4 TB in a single drive. So if one drive is full and if the drive cannot grow beyond that value, beyond 2 TB, then we'll add one more drive. Will means we'll request Windows team or storage team to add extra drive. They will add extra drive. So what is our duty once they have added? I'm going to create a new data file in the new drive. So from that point onwards, the data will goes to a new data file and this file will grow until the drive is going to be full, guys. This is how it will be managed internally. Is it clear? Now I am clicking OK. I am not going to give any file name. Automatically it will take, guys. Okay, I'm just clicking OK now. Amazon did not add the correct because it's already added. The file is already added or what? Let me check. Go to the data files location. Amazon is not added, right? Okay, the file name, both logical names are same. That's why it is not able to add. Okay, underscore F2, file 2. Okay, the logical names should not be same, guys. So when I'm giving the same name, the logical names are same, so it is not able to add. So I'm just giving file 2. Okay, yeah. Now you see here, the new file is created, and what is the extension of this new file, guys? Amazon F2. Where to check the extension? You can check using the physical properties. See the extension .ndf. See, so whenever you create a data file, so by default you will get MDF, and if MDF is full and if you cannot accommodate the space for MDF, then you have to add extra data file called NDF. Like that, how many data files I can add to a database, guys? Like this, how many databases, how many data files I can add to a database?
32,767.
32,767 database files I can add to any database, guys. If you go and check the file space, you can see the third data file, third file, which is Amazon F2.ndf file. In this way, you can manage. Okay, so now you got to know the importance, guys, these three files. So generally, when you create a database, you will get two files. One is with MDF, another one is LDF. If my data file is full, then you can add one more data file called NDF file. So the next time when I'm adding Amazon underscore F3.ndf, F4.ndf, F5.ndf like that. But only one MDF will be created, not one data file. Only one MDF file will be created in a database. Remaining all files will be NDF files only. But Shanmukh, you are saying we can add multiple data files. Can't we add multiple log files? If my log file is full, then if my log file is full, can I add one more log file? So that will be discussed what log file will do generally, how log will be managed generally. So that will be discussed. Okay, guys. So as of now, is it clear? Any questions, doubts, please?
Shanmugh, what if uh, as the other administrator told us to move the data file from one location to another location from C drive to D drive. Then
Okay.
in that condition,
Hmm.
what will we do? Means,
What will
because
be?
generally we don't store the C or user database to C drive,
Correct. Correct. But while
correct?
creating itself, you
So
can give the E
yeah,
drive,
but
right? See, we don't have E drive, F drive and all. So that's why I'm just creating the data files and log files, or I'm creating the databases in the C
okay.
drive. Generally, we don't give, but while
Mhm.
creating, there is an option, right, to give the path. Correct? When you are creating any new database, it will ask you to give the path. So it's not like it's mandatory that it will take by default C drive. I'm creating a new database. And well, see, for example, I want to create a Flipkart database. Flipkart. So now if you see here, it will ask you, okay, the path. You can change the path while creating itself. There is a your question is a valid question. Okay, sometimes not regularly, there is a chance sometimes you have to move the files from one drive to another drive. That is a different task. Sometimes, very rarely, you will get that activity. You have to move the data file once it was created. If you want to move, how to move the files from one location to another location, that is a different concept.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that was
Okay, at this time, this is early to discuss. Okay, so
okay.
while creating itself, you can give the path, new path, whatever drive, whatever location you want to give. While creating itself, you can give. But after creation, maybe after 2 3 years, user is asking us to change the files from one location to another location. There is a different way to fix that. Okay, guys, are we good? Any
Okay.
questions, doubts?
Going to learn that thing? Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you. That's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
That is simple only.
Okay.
Guys, any other questions, please? Are we good about data files, MDF, NDF, LDF? At least basics, are we good?
Yeah, yes, Shanmugh, it's clear.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now let's go back to the diagram. So if I want to create a table, what I should have? Okay, so now again, let's discuss. So in the instance, we will have databases. In the database, inside the database, if you go, you'll have file groups and log files. File groups and log files. If you go inside the file groups, okay, by default file group is primary file group that you will get with the database. When you are creating the database, by default you will get this primary file group. Okay, so no need to create this file group. So by default you will get it. If you want, you can create extra file groups also. If you go inside the file groups, you will have data files. Okay, there are two types of data files. One is MDF file, second one is NDF file. By default, when you create a database, you will get MDF file, only one MDF per database, and LDF file. You will get LDF file also when you create a new database. If this MDF is full, if you cannot extend the MDF file, then you can also add extra data file, NDF, like that you can add up to 32,767. So if you go inside the data file, Shanmukh, what will be there? If you go inside the data files, what will be there? If you go inside the data files, you can see extents. What is this, guys? Extent. There are other objects called extents will be present inside the data files. If you go inside the data files, you can see extent. What is an extent? What is an extent, guys? Extent is nothing but collection of in SQL Server, we will have databases. Inside the database, we will have file groups and log file. Inside the file groups, we will have the data files. There are two types of data files. One is MDF file .mdf. Second one is NDF file. MDF means master data file. Okay. Master data file extension is .mdf. NDF means new or next data file. Extension is .ndf. Okay. If my master data file is full, then you can add NDF file. So we can add 32,767 files to any database, guys. Generally, we don't use that many files, but we have a feasibility to add. Okay, fine. So if you go
Every other
inside,
files, Shanmu, every other file will have NDF, and the name will be
correct,
changed.
.ndf. The name will be changed, but extension is .ndf.
Every other file between after the first one.
Correct. The first one only will have MDF. Remaining all other files will be NDFs only. Okay. So
Question is,
yes, Jonas, please.
so what's the chunk of the files to be 32,767? What's the each chunk of file size?
It depends. You see, we don't generally create, there is no specific value. Okay. So if your database size is limited, then you can see the chunk. But there is no limit for your database. So if my data file is full, for example, as I said, that's why I gave you an example. If my MDF is full, after adding, it can extend up to 2 TB, as drive size can be extended till 2 TB. So once it reaches 2 TB, then you can add one more data file, okay, with a new drive, I mean with a new location. The new location you can add another data file. So like that, there is no specific size of the database. Generally, you can add, keep on adding the files. So there is no specific chunk. If you are still creating, maybe you can, to manage the data properly, to organize the data properly, for better performance and all, you can create 500 GB, 500 GB data files for the better performance and all. Okay. Otherwise, there is no limit, there is no restriction as it has to be this much only, nothing like that. But a file can grow up to 2 TB, because the drive that is hosting that file can grow up to 2 TB. So that is the reason the data file cannot be beyond 2 TB. But there are, in the drives also, there are different extensions, guys, GPT, MBR partitions. So MBR partition can grow more than 2 TB, but as of now, we'll limit the concept, okay, till this 2 TB and all, so that there is no specific chunk. Okay, each file will have this much size only, nothing like that. It can go based on the drive size, Jonas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it is not a good practice to just leave it to make it 2 terabyte, Shanmugh. We have to manage things properly and make them more performance orientation needs to be there, or something needs to be followed, rules or regulations, or we just leave it like that.
Yeah, we will leave it. Okay, that will be covered later. Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
So we can add up to 32,767 files to any database. And if you go inside the database, if you go inside the data files, okay, we can see the extents. What is an extent, guys? Extent is a collection of 8 continuous data pages. Okay. And there is one more definition to the extent. Extent is nothing but, extent is a basic allocation unit in the SQL server. I'll explain, don't worry. In the SQL server, guys. So if you go to this diagram, you can see here inside the data files, you can see extents. If you go inside the extent, you can see pages. Okay, what you can see, guys, you can see pages. So you can see each page size is 8 KB only. The page size you can see is fixed, which is 8 KB. So these are all 8 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. So an extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages, guys. Collection of 8 data pages is called one extent. If you go inside the extent, you can see page. What is this, guys? Page. So when you are creating any table, your table will sit on this page at the end of the day. So that is called page. A page is a basic storage unit. A page is a basic storage unit. Don't get confused here. Extent is a basic allocation unit, whereas page is a basic storage unit, guys. Whenever you are creating any table, whenever you are creating any table, by default, that table will be created on a page. Is it clear, guys, now? The page is a basic storage unit in the SQL server. All the tables will be created. Okay. One minute. One minute.
Just go to the options. Okay? Because why I go very
Recording in progress.
Because I know where the options. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, guys, whenever you are creating a table, what you should have, guys? Page. What is the size of the page? 8 KB. Where this page will be stored, guys? Inside the extents. Where the extents will be there? Inside the data files. Where these data files will be created? Inside the file groups. Where these file groups will be existed? Inside the database. Where these databases can be created? Inside the instance. This is the physical hierarchy of SQL Server. Inside the instance, we'll have databases. Inside the databases, we'll have file groups and log files. Inside the file groups, we'll have data files. Inside the data files, we'll have extents. Inside the extents, we'll have pages. So whenever you are creating any table, small table, student table you are creating, so at the end of the day, the student table will be created on a page, guys. Okay. If that student table is growing, if you are inserting lot of data in the student table, then SQL Server will allocate a page to the particular table. If second page is also full, the same like how we are writing the notes. So from the beginning onwards, we started writing SQL Server notes, guys. So you just bought a book and you started writing. So one page is full. What you will do? You'll go to next page. That is also full. Next page until the course ends. You keep writing. So as data is there to write, so the data, the pages also, like you are using more pages and all, as per the content, the pages also increasing. So based on that particular concept, based on that content, so once the one page is full, automatically you are using the other page. In the SQL Server also the same thing. Student table, if you are creating, first SQL Server will allocate this page to student table. If this 8 KB is full and still you are inserting the data in the student table, SQL Server will add one more 8 KB page to you. Like in the examinations, okay, they will give a booklet first. Imagine booklet is an extent. First, they will give a booklet, right? Imagine booklet is an extent, collection of pages. What is booklet? Collection of pages. If your booklet is full, what they will give? They will give one more booklet or they will give one more page. Correct? So in the same way, booklet is an extent, guys. Allocation unit. Booklet is an extent. It's an allocation unit. And the page is a storage unit. In the booklet, you are going to see the pages. In the pages, you are going to write. If your booklet is full, if one page is completely full, then you will go to the next page. If that is also full, you will go to next page. You will keep on adding the pages. If your booklet is full, then again there is a chance that you might get another booklet or another page. That is how it will be managed, guys. Is it clear now? So whenever you are creating a table, by default, where it is going to be created, guys, at the end of the day, where it will be created? Where it will be created? Your table will be created on which object?
Page, sir.
Page.
Pages.
Okay. Page cannot be shareable, guys. Page cannot be shareable. It's not a shared object. Shanmukh, I have a small table, student table. It will take max 2 KB only. Still, I have 6 KB free in this space. I have 6 KB free in this space. Can I use the free space to create one more table? No. Page cannot be shareable. Remember, one page, one table. It will be allocated to one table. Even though if there is a free space, still SQL Server will not allocate the page to another table, because when you are reading the data, when you type select star from student, if student table is created on 4 pages, these 4 pages will load inside your memory. Then only you are able to get the data. Are you getting the point, guys? When you are typing select star from student, star means all the columns, means you are trying to pull the data. So on how many pages the student table is created, all the pages will be loaded inside the memory. So if I am sharing my page to another table, unnecessarily the second table is also going to be loaded inside the memory. Is it clear, guys, now? Are we good? At least to
Sir,
some
once
extent.
again.
Yeah, I'll tell you, no issues. So the page is not shareable. Is it clear, everyone? Page you cannot share with other objects. One page is equal to one table. If that page is full, SQL Server will allocate another page. If that is also full, SQL Server will keep allocating the pages. Is this point clear, everyone? Any questions
Yes,
here,
sir.
please? Right. So now imagine there is a table called student table. Imagine I created one table called student table. Imagine this table is a not big table, just normal table. Okay. So almost it just occupied 4 pages. Okay. Student table, I inserted some data around 1000 records or 2000 records I inserted. So now it is consuming 4 pages. So when I run the query select star from student, whatever pages belongs to that object, those pages will be loaded inside the memory. If you want to see the
Here,
data, yes, please.
here in this case, only 4 pages will be loaded,
Yes,
sir.
yes. On how many pages it was created, all the pages will be loaded. If the table is created on 4 pages, all the 4 pages will be loaded inside the memory. If it is created on 400 pages, all the 400 pages will be loaded inside the memory. Okay, it's not like only 4 pages. I'm just giving an example of 4. If table is created on 10 pages, when you run a query select star from employee, all the 10 pages will be loaded inside the memory. That is the reason you are able to see all the data. So if page is shareable, if you can create one more table in the single page, when you load this page inside the memory, unnecessarily you are loading one more table also. So security wise, it's not good. So that is the reason page is not shareable. Only one table you can create on a page. If that page is full, SQL Server will allocate another page. Is it clear, guys, now? Everyone?
Sir, sir, I
Yes,
have
sir.
a question. Sir, first page is MDF and other
No, no,
page
no,
is
no, 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 no. Don't get confused here. Page is different, file is different. Page doesn't have any
okay.
extension. If you go inside the files, you will have extents, and inside the extents, you will have page. Page is an object. Don't think first page is MDF file, second page is NDF file, third page is NDF file. No. Page doesn't have any extension. Okay, inside the files, I am saying, inside the data files, you will have this extents. Inside the extents, you will have pages. Very simple thing. Page, like the SQL Server will manage the storage in the same way how we are managing the books. How the book will be, if you open the book, you can see index page, and after the index page, you can see the empty pages. There you can write the data. Whatever data you want to write, you can write the data. So please be muted, Imran. I'm getting some echo.
Yeah.
So the data will be written to the pages. Okay, so for example, if one concept is there, for example, database backup concept is there. Now you want to read the database backups or installation concept. Forget about the backups. Installation concept is there. Now you just wrote this installation concept on 3 pages, right? So now if you want to read this installation concept, how many pages has to be loaded? These 3 pages has to be loaded, right? If installation concept, if you wrote the installation concept on 10 pages, if you want to read it, you have to read all 10 pages, right? In the same way, when table is created on 10 pages, if you want to read the table, you have to load all these 10 pages. You don't do anything, guys. These are all internal concepts just to understand. Nothing to do in the organization. Okay, automatically SQL Server will be managed by its own. It will not ask, hey, Imran, how many pages you want me to give, or what is the page number. It will not ask anything. When you create a table backend, these things will be done automatically. The only thing is you have to try to understand how the SQL Server will be organized, how it will organize the data, how it will be stored, how it will be managed, how it will be retrieved. You have to know all these things. That is the reason you have to know the background. So these are all the basics. So no need to do anything. Okay, maybe in the interviews they might ask what is an extent, what is the page, what is the size of the page, what is the size of the extent. Okay, how many file groups we can create, how many data files we can add. These kind of questions you can expect, but they will not ask. Okay, all these things, and also just try to understand the basic concepts. Whenever you are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate a page for you. If that page is full, SQL Server will allocate one more page, and if that is also full, it will keep adding the pages.
So can I ask you a question? Can we see these
We can
pages and
see, we can see, we can see.
we can see these are all in the files, right? These in
Correct.
under the files.
Correct, under the
These
files.
are
But
then
physically you cannot see. Physically you cannot see. See, guys, physically you can see till what level? Till files level only. You cannot see extents physically. Shanmukh, can you show me the extents physically? No. Physically you cannot see extents and pages. But there is a query. See, this is the data file. Inside the data file, if you don't double click and don't try to open, it will be corrupted. Never ever open the data files or log files. The files will be corrupted. The files will be corrupted. You cannot open the data file or log file to see extents. You cannot see extents like this physically with your naked eye. You cannot see extents. You can see up to this level only. You can see physically. If you want to see the extents, then there is a query dbcc log info. dbcc log info will give you the extents of the database. For master, if I want to see the extents, see how many extents are there in master database. 8 extents are there. Okay, 8 extents are there. So if you want to see pages also, there is a query dbcc page query is there. Using that query, you can see the page. You can even see the data inside the page also. Okay, that and all will be discussed later. But up to data files location, physically up to data files you can see, but the extents, if you go inside the data file, in this data file you can see, okay, extents. If you go inside the extents, you can see pages. So whenever you are creating any table in the Amazon database, so the table will be created on a page inside the Amazon database extents. This is how it will be managed. Clear?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. If we just any log file or any like data file, if we just move it or remove it or whatsoever, then the SQL Server is not going to work. Suddenly everything is it will be corrupted.
Not for all databases. Okay, if it is system database, then SQL Server will not work. If it is user database, the database will not work, but SQL Server will work.
Okay.
Yeah. As
But
system database dependency is there.
there is no direct way to open these files as well. There is no application is not
no,
available.
no way.
No way. Okay,
Maybe you have to design anything in future.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, please, are we good? Are we clear? Very simple thing. Okay. Again, just go back to the diagram. Just try to remember this diagram. So don't worry. And in the instances, you will have databases. Inside the databases, you'll have file groups, and the default file group is primary file group. By default, you will get it with the database and log files. Okay. Inside the database, you'll have file groups and log files. If you go inside the file groups, you will have data files. There are two types of data files, MDF and NDF. Structure is same, either it is MDF or NDF, whatever we discussed, that is same. If you go inside the data files, either MDF or NDF data file, you can see extents. If you go inside the extents, you can see pages. Page is a basic storage unit. Storage unit. Page is a basic storage unit in SQL Server. Whenever you are creating any table, at the end of the day, the table will be created on any page. If that page is full, SQL Server will allocate another page. If that is full, it will keep adding the pages. If you are keep on inserting the data, it will keep adding the pages. Just try to close your eyes and just try to imagine like book. So if the page is full, how you are going to go to the next page? In the same way, SQL Server also will go to the next page. If you are keep on writing the data, you have to keep on adding the pages. Very simple thing. If you don't write, some topics you'll have, you can see only on one page. Some topics you can see 2 pages. Some topics you can see 3 pages, 4 pages, 10 pages, 100 pages. Depends upon the topic. In the same way, depends upon the table size. One table can be accommodated in a single page. One table can be accommodated in 2 pages. One table can be accommodated in 100 pages. One table can be accommodated in 1000 pages. One table can be accommodated in 10,000 pages also. Depends upon the data that you are inserting. A page is not shareable. Okay, page cannot be shareable with other objects. One table, one page. Even though there is a free space, SQL Server will not allocate. It will be marked as allocated. So when it is creating a new table, it will not touch allocated pages. Okay, it will go for a free page and it will allocate to the new table. Are we good now,
Can
guys?
we see that, sir, 8 KB is the page, then 8 to 64 can be extends like considered as a chapter, and then 5,
That is
and
your
then
wish. How you are going to consider whether it is a chapter or anything, that is your wish. Okay, you can consider it as a booklet. Okay, one booklet, once one booklet is full, another booklet it will allocate, kind of thing you can consider.
very last concept is like that I didn't understand is the primary file groups. So primary file groups, when the log files are different, under the primary file groups only the data files are there on that set,
Only
or
data files are there. No,
only data files are there.
log files will not be grouped together. Only data files will be grouped together, because the data is like a permanent. The data that you are storing is permanent, guys. Whatever data that you are storing in the data files is a permanently you are written to the disk. But the log file is not permanent. It's a temporary. Okay, because of that reason, we don't have any file groups. How log file will
This
work?
log file is changing all the time.
Wait,
That's what you mean,
wait.
Shanmugh.
I'll tell you during the log file discussion. We will discuss. Okay, maybe the next discussion will be log file. Okay, there you will get to know.
That's fine.
Yes. Guys,
Thank
please
you.
again, I'm asking everyone. Is it clear, guys? The page, extents, data files. Everyone, is it clear? Yeah, Jonas, you're asking something.
Yeah, it's clear. So in case of we have so many tables and we have unutilized, space in each table.
Correct.
So
Correct.
when the time goes, there are so many unutilized spaces. So
Will be
does it
there.
have
Will be
like
there. Will be there. Yeah, that is called fragmentation. Okay, so that
okay,
will be discussed in the performance tuning.
gotcha.
Guys, are we good? What about others?
Sir, how many tables should be there? That many pages will be created. And
Depends upon the, that's what,
side.
simple thing. If you are keep adding the data to that notebook, how the pages will be added in the same way.
Increase, same,
If you are creating multiple tables, multiple pages will be added.
multiple tables, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
So, but This concept, this chart is valid for the user databases and then the
For every
uh,
database, the same concept. It's not like for system database, one concept user. The concept is same, okay, across all the databases. We don't write anything to the system databases. So we'll write data to the user databases only. But the concept is same for all the databases. Why people are so silent? Shaheen, Raidu, Ravi. Just raise your hands, guys. How many of you are sleeping? Just raise your hands and then you can go to sleep again, please. No one? I'm sure at least 2 to 3 people will sleep.
No, no, no.
No, no, no. Good, good, good.
Sir, your conversation is, explanation is engaging, sir. No one will sleep.
Maybe it is engaging you. What about others? Okay, okay, guys, take a break.
There is a suggestion, sir. I think in the morning you just don't teach the very high concepts in the morning because people are sleeping. And for me, it's 2 o'clock at night, so I'm totally sleeping actually.
You will not get sleep. I know.
So it's better to teach a high concept at 7 o'clock class, sir. That's a personal request I have,
See,
please.
for you it will be 7 o'clock. Okay, for us again, for them it will be night. Okay, then also they will sleep. So as majority is there in the Indian timing, so I'll teach these concepts, high level concepts in the morning. Okay. Fine. Okay, take a break. Come back after 15 minutes. Then we'll discuss the other things, guys. Okay. We'll be back after 15 minutes. Okay. And yeah. So page is a basic storage unit in the SQL Server. Basic storage unit. There are two things: basic storage unit, basic allocation unit. Okay. Page is a basic storage unit, and extent is a basic allocation unit. Okay. So I'll tell you what is the difference and all. Don't worry. So whenever you are creating a table, by default, SQL Server will allocate a page for your table. And if that page is completely occupied, then SQL Server will also add one more page. Like if you are keep on inserting the data, or if the data is coming from the application, then SQL Server will keep adding the pages to that particular table. So in that way, the table size will grow as it is occupying more pages. If the table is big, definitely it will occupy more pages. It will sit on more pages. So definitely it is going to consume the space. Fine. So now SQL Server occupied like whatever pages it is giving when you are inserting the data. SQL Server will add 8 pages every time, 8 pages. Okay, 8 KB page it will add. So imagine initially you got one page, okay, and then it was full completely, and then second page, third page, fourth page, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8 pages. So the all 8 pages are full completely. Now what SQL Server will do? What it will do, guys? It will allocate the second extent it will allocate means the next allocation will be again 8 continuous pages you will get it. Again you will get the 8 continuous pages, another extent you will get it. Okay. So if the extent is full completely, SQL Server will add again one more extent, one more extent, one more extent, means the allocation will be in terms of extents. So that is why we will call the extent as basic allocation unit. Page is a basic storage unit. Storage is something different, allocation is different. As I said in the examination, so where you are going to write the answers on the page, but what they are going to allocate, they are going to allocate a booklet. Booklet is nothing but collection of pages. So the allocation unit is booklet, the storage unit is page. Clear, guys? In the same way, in SQL Server, the allocation unit is extent, which is collection of 8 pages. And if these 8 pages are full, SQL Server will add one more extent. If that extent is full, SQL Server will add one more extent, one more extent, one more extent. Now type your answers in the chart. What is the size of the extent, guys? Size of the page is 8 KB. What is the size of the extent? Type your answers in the chart. Don't tell the answers. Type your answers in the chart. Quickly, you can tell the answer. It is easy. What is the size of the extent? Only 2 people respond. I hope you know basic mathematics. At least you know 8 table. Size of the extent. I need in terms of KBs, Jonas. If you know 8th table, then it is easy for you. You can tell the answer easily. Everyone I'm saying. I got response from 10 people. Okay. Again, guys, while responding, please don't respond to group chat. Please respond direct message to me. Okay, if you are posting in the group chat, others can see. They will not think and they will keep posting the same thing blindly. Okay, just always keep sending the messages to me, direct message to me. Just click on my name and you can type it. My name means Source University. Okay, you can click on the Source University and you can type the answer. That's it. Very good. Very good, guys. Good. Nice. Each page size is 8 KB. So what is the extent size? What will be the size of the extent? If you know in a single extent how many pages are there, then you can easily tell the answer. Okay, so good, guys. So I got good responses. Fine. Yeah. Ashwini 64, Emansu 64, Shahin 64, and Bhavana 64, Om 64, Ram 64, Jonas 64, Gopi 64 KB, and Jonas 8 pages, Sneha 64 KB, Sheikh near to 100 KB. Why near to 100 KB, Sheikh? Imran 64 KB, Jonas 80 pages, Pardo 64 KB, Madhu 64 KB. Good, guys. Okay. Good. Okay, so the answer is 64 KB. As you said, you can see the answer on the screen itself. You can see extent is nothing but 8 pages. And you can see each page is 8 KB. 8 into 8 is 64 KB. That's it. You can see answer on the screen itself, guys. Okay, the extent size is nothing but 64 KB, guys. Extent size is 64 KB. So there are two types of extents. One is mixed extent. Second one is uniform extent. As you know that extent is a basic allocation unit, and there are two types of extents. One is mixed extent, second one is uniform extent. So what is the difference between these two, Shanmugh? Difference between mixed extent and uniform extent. Okay, extents in SQL Server. Go to images. You can see here. Okay, so now tell me the difference. I'll show you the image on the screen itself. You can just see the image and you can tell me the difference between these two, guys. Okay, difference between a uniform extent and a mixed extent, guys. Tell me the difference. Okay, so now you see, guys, this is Microsoft website only. You can see learn.microsoft.com. Now you can see mixed extent, you can see uniform. What is the difference between these two? You just see the picture and tell me. I am not asking technical things. Whatever you can see in the picture, just
Table and indexes are mixed in a extent. That extent called as a mixed extent, and uniform extent is where all the table or all the indexes are there are the uniform.
what is the other difference you can see on the screen?
Mixed extent,
Yeah.
8 objects.
Okay.
Uniform extent, single object.
Very good. Very good.
Only one table, table one, table
Very
one,
good.
table one. Like
Very
that.
good. Very good, Imanshu. Very good, Ram. Okay. You see here, uniform extent means you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is fixed. Size is fixed. There will be no difference in the page count and all. But uniform extent means all the 8 pages belongs to a single object. All the 8 pages belongs to a single object is called uniform extent. If you are storing student table, all the 8 pages of this extent, okay, will be used to store the student table only. No other table will not be stored in that extent. So that is called uniform extent. Mixed extent means what? You can store the pages with multiple objects in the uniform extent. Uniform extent. Uniform extent means all 8 pages belongs to single object. Okay, mixed extent means all 8 pages belongs to multiple objects, guys. That is the difference between, okay, uniform extent and mixed extent. Okay, in the mixed extent, all the 8 pages belongs to multiple objects, whereas in the uniform extent, all the 8 pages belongs to single extent, guys. That is the difference between uniform extent and mixed extent. So Shanmukh, when I am creating a new table for the first time, you are saying SQL Server will allocate a page from the extent. So now tell me from which extent it will allocate a page. Will it allocate from uniform extent or mixed extent? Interview question. You got my question right? As per the discussion, as I said, when you are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate a page. So it will allocate a page from the extent only. It should allocate page from the extent only because the pages will present in extents only. From which extent it will allocate? Can you guess it? Guess, guys, just guess. Let's see how you are going to guess. Just guess it. Is it going to allocate from mixed extent or it is going to allocate from uniform extent? Type your answers in the chart. You can use anything, okay? You can use Inky Pinky Ponky also, no issues. Just guess it. I need engagement, that's it. But you can think and just guess it, guys. Still lot of people are sending it to the group only. Please send it to me directly. I can see only Q answers, guys. What about others? I don't see the other responses. John. Who is John? John, can you hear me? Who is John? Okay, just please ping me in the WhatsApp. We'll discuss. Okay, fine. Okay, so now Sneha uniform, Madhavi uniform, Om uniform, Imran mixed, Gopi uniform, John uniform, Ashwini uniform, Ashu uniform, Jonas mixed. Okay, fine. I got only few answers. John. Oh, okay, John. Okay, this is the first class. Sorry. Okay, got you. Fine. So no, now let's try to understand, guys. Imagine, as you know the difference between uniform and mixed extent now. If it is a uniform extent, as I said, all 8 pages belongs to a single object. Correct? This is clear, right, everyone? Everyone, this is clear, right? Uniform extent means all 8 pages belongs to a single object. Mixed extent means all 8 pages belongs to multiple objects. Object can be index, object can be table, anything. What is index you don't know, right? Currently, so we'll be discussing the performance tuning. Don't worry about the index. So imagine if it is allocating a page from the uniform extent. Imagine if it is allocating uniform means all 8 pages belongs to a single table, right? Imagine my table size is small table with 2 records inserted. If it is allocating a page from the uniform extent, don't you think I am going to waste remaining 7 pages, guys? Agreed or not? Is it clear? If my table size is not growing, if my table size is small, if I allocate a uniform extent, if it is a uniform extent, if it is student table, all 8 pages also should belongs to student table only, as you cannot share the pages with other tables. So the same table should be there. So if student table is created on this table, and if this table is not growing, then I am going to waste 7 pages, right? 7 into 8, 56 KB per extent I am wasting. Guys, in the organization, the most expensive object is storage. Any software, any application will take care of the storage, and will use the storage, as per the requirement. So it should have a mechanism to store the storage, guys, to maintain the storage. So imagine per extent itself, if I am wasting 56 KB only for single extent, like that, if I have hundreds of extents, how much storage I am going to waste? Correct? If my table is not growing, I am going to waste all these 7 pages. So that is the reason. Now you got the point, guys? Now you got the point? Is it clear now? Now tell me, when you are creating a new object, which extent sequencer will allocate? Tell me the answer now.
Extent.
A
Mixed
page
table.
from the mixed extent. A page from, so the first allocation will be a page from the mixed extent. If your table is growing, the subsequent allocations will be uniform extent. Clear now? Are we good now? If it is a uniform extent, there is no use of mixed extent. Only one extent will be there. There will be no use of mixed extent itself. So why we have 2 extents? Because to store the storage, to save the storage. Okay, so the first allocation will be, whenever you are creating any object, the first allocation will be a page from the mixed extent, because the other 7 pages I can use it for other 7 tables or 7 objects. I can allocate these pages to other tables also. No need to waste. Okay, so that is the reason the first allocation will be a page from the mixed extent. If that page is full, and if it came to know that the subsequent allocations will be more, then directly sequencer will allocate a uniform extent, guys. Same again example. If you don't know anything in the exam, and if I gave you the whole booklet, of course, that is how for everyone they will give the booklet only. I am going to write 1 or 2 pages. I am going to waste remaining all pages. Okay, so in the same manner, the first allocation, if it is a uniform extent, if the table is not growing, the subsequent allocation, I mean to say, you are going to waste almost lot of storage from each extent. So that is the reason first allocation will be a page from the mixed extent, and the subsequent allocations will be the uniform extents, guys. This is an interview question. Okay, clear, guys? Are we good now? Right. So that is all about your data pages, guys. Okay, that is all about your data pages. This is how data will be organized physically. In the instance, you'll have databases. In the databases, you'll have file groups and log files. In the file groups, you'll have data files, which is MDF and NDF. So if MDF is full, I'm going to add NDF file. In the data files, you'll have extents. Extent is nothing but 8 continuous data pages. Extent is nothing but 8 continuous data pages and a basic allocation unit. Extent is also nothing but a basic allocation unit in SQL Server. And if you go inside the extent, you can see the pages. Page is basic storage unit. Page size is 8 KB. Can I change the page size? Can I change it to 80 KB? Can I change it to 512 KB or 1 MB? Why 8 KB? Why not 1 MB, 2 MB and all? Why small pages? Any idea?
So the data can be saved, sir, because if the portion is small, then it can be adjusted
Sir,
yeah.
I mean the disk block size is 8. That could be the reason.
Okay,
It could be reason as well, yeah.
good. So the reason is like, that is one reason. And one more reason is, imagine, as I said, if my student table is created on these 8 pages. So when you run select star from student, these 8 pages are going to be loaded inside the memory, inside the RAM. Imagine if my page size is 512 KB. If the page size is big, it will take time to load into the memory. Please be muted, Mimran. I'm getting echo. You're getting my point, right? So if the page size is big, when it is loading into the memory, it will take time. And Sharmukh, can it be 2 KB? Can it be 2 KB? If it is 2 KB, instead of one page, you have to load 4 pages into the memory. Excessive pages also will create performance issues. Okay? If the page size is big, then also it will create performance issues. If page size is small, then also it will create performance issues. If it is a big page, it will take time to load into the memory. If it is a small page, multiple pages has to be loaded into the memory. So because of all these reasons, Microsoft fixed this size, which is 8 KB. In any version, the page size is fixed, which is 8 KB. You cannot change this page size, and this is fixed. Okay, so Microsoft decided the page size has to be 8 KB. So in every version, generally interviewers will confuse you. Can we change it in the latest version? Okay, in 2022, in 2025, can we change it? There is no way. Okay, you cannot change the page size. Page size is fixed, which is 8 KB, guys. Right? Fine? Okay.
So this is an architectural thing which has
Correct,
been
architectural.
done.
Generally, architectural and design things, we cannot change it. Okay, we can only read it. We can try to understand it, but we cannot change the architectural things. Okay, any
Sir,
question? Yes, please, Mark.
is really, I mean, the disk block size is 8 KB. Just
Disk block.
or it is.
No, the thing is, disk block size is 8 KB, or that is different thing, but even I'm not sure whether it is 8 KB or not. But
Okay.
8 KB page size, whatever we discussed, the size of the page is 8 KB. So if the page size is big, too big or too small, it will create issues, performance issues, especially when it is loading into the memory. So because of that reason, okay, so the Microsoft designed this as 8 KB.
So this can the storage can be a virtual storage, or it could be any storage, right? It can be any storage. We are referring to the both physical storage and the
Yes, any
yeah.
storage, it can be any storage.
So are we considering the RAM size as well in this whole picture, or there is no
These pages has to be
consideration?
loaded inside the RAM only, Imran. As I said earlier also, these pages at the end of the day, when you are reading a table, where it will load, how it will load. When you are reading a table, select star from employee, all the records you are able to see. How you are able to see all the records if it is not loading into the RAM?
No, there is a limitation size of that one, or there is no limit for that for the RAM size.
Correct. So that is the reason. See, if you have big tables and all, if your organization, if your application is big, and if you are dealing thousands of databases, and if you are dealing terabytes of databases, definitely you have to increase your RAM. Okay, the RAM size also will be increased. If the database is normal, small in size, we'll use less memory, less RAM. If the database is big in size, we'll use more RAM, because the table is also big, and when it is loading into the RAM, so it will not create any issues. So performance wise, it will be good. So that is the reason If the table sizes are big, okay, we'll go for more RAM. If the table sizes are small or medium, we'll go for normal RAM and all. So that is the reason some servers will have 16 GB RAM, some servers will have 32 GB RAM, some servers will have 64 GB, some servers will have 128 GB, some of them will have 256 GB also. It depends upon the application criticality, size of the database, size of the table, number of records. Based on that, they will decide, okay, we need this much RAM, this much RAM. How frequently the data is coming. So based on that, they are going to decide the RAM.
So this decision is not
No.
people who
This
are
has to be
making
taken care by
architects.
the architect. Yeah, not DBS.
Okay.
You can be an architect after getting a lot of experience and all. Maybe after 8 years, 9 years, 10 years also. Then once
Like you are an architect, sir, isn't it? Am I right?
not
Sir,
agree.
is there any course to
You're
become architect, sir?
There
being
is
humble.
see, there is no separate course for an architect. Okay, so that you will get it while practicing, learning, and especially architect should have a very basic, minute things. You should have a visibility. Okay, so if you want to become architect means you have to go into a granular level. So very basic level, very basic level. Whatever questions we discussed now, these are Microsoft questions. If you go to Microsoft interview, they will ask these questions only. If you go to other interviews, they will not touch these basics. Only in the basics, only in the Microsoft interviews, they will touch the basics. Okay, what is the page size? What is the extent size? What is an extent? What is a page? Where we can see? How to see? Okay, how the data will be organized physically. Okay, so all these things they will ask in the Microsoft interview, guys. I'll tell you what is Microsoft interview, how Microsoft will take the people, how frequently they will take the people. So I'll tell you, many of our students are working in Microsoft. Okay, so how they are going to take, what work these people will do if you go inside the Microsoft, I'll tell you. Okay, the end of the course, at the end of the sessions, I'm going to discuss all these things. So to become an architect, you should have, okay, first of all, you should have what is that? That kind of zeal. Okay, so what is there? What is there inside? What is there inside? How it will work? So if you know the basics properly, then you can be a good architect. But again, you need some experience also, hands-on experience and all. So then you can design the things. Okay, any other questions, guys?
I have a question about this interview related thing. So, for example, Shanmugh bhai, if there is a job opportunity for the Oracle DB, so can we go for it, or we shouldn't, or we cannot, or we shouldn't think about it? What do you think? Because there are side by side both opportunities are there. When I
If
check
you know
the
Oracle
Microsoft
DBA, you
as well
can go to Oracle DBA. If you know, see, the thing is, if you need a job, if you can manage Oracle DBA, if you know the Oracle DBA, okay, then you can take the opportunity. Again, nowadays Oracle DBA, SQL DBA, again, sometimes they are asking you to do even MS SQL duties also. Oracle DBA also has to perform MS SQL duties. So if you have an opportunity, maybe you know the things, maybe you can manage the things, you can go to Oracle DBA also. What is there in that? No issues. Okay, if you know the things, if you know that you can manage the things, then you can take the opportunity.
Thank you.
But again, Oracle means you have to learn the Linux and all. Again, you have to learn the OS also. Here Windows no need to learn separately. Okay, you are handling Windows, but Oracle said you have to learn the commands, you have to learn the Linux. So yeah, depends upon the opportunities. Okay, so if no questions, I don't want to start a new topic now. Take rest. So in the evening session, again, how the things will be, I'll tell you now. Okay. Um, in the evening, we'll have an exam. Exam means I'll not give you paper and pen to write the answers. Practical things. Practical is very important, right? So please join from the laptop. Okay, don't join from the mobile. Please join from the laptop. Um, in the evening, I'll tell you the questions now itself. You have to create a virtual machine. On top of that, you have to install Windows Server. On top of that, you have to install SQL Server, then SSMS, then you have to change the service account. So these are all the 5 tasks. I'll separate you people into 5 rooms. Okay, 5 rooms I'll create. In each room, five people or four people, depends upon the number of students. In the next session, I'll separate you. I'll keep you in a single room. I'll keep you in a separate room. So you people have to help together. You have to, one person will share the screen. If you know the things, you can install, the others will help you. Which team I'll rank, I'll give the numbering of the teams and all, which team will win, we'll see. Okay. That is the test that we are going to, okay, take in the next session. And please be prepared, guys. We'll see how quickly you are going to complete this task. Okay. Who is going to complete first? Those are the winners. Fine. So that's it, guys. So we'll see in the evening, 7 p.m. IST. Okay, for US people tomorrow morning, 9:30 EST, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shan.
Thank you. Thank you.